Eran, thank you so much. I'm hoping you'll come up on my screen. Hi there, how are you doing? I can see
Yes.
you.
Hey, how are you guys?
I'm very good. Nice to see you. Did I say your name correctly? Is it Eran Bachar?
Yes, it's Eran Bachar. Actually, it's Bachar, but it's a bit of a bit maybe a problem to pronounce the ha, so it's Bachar, Bachar, Bahar, whatever you want to call it. That's okay.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'll try and get it right next time. Yeah, I've got some questions for you. Let's have a look on Slido. So if you've got questions for Eran, please post them on Slido, and I'm not filtering them. I mean, if they come up and I don't like them, I still will ask, and we'll see where that gets us. Here we go. This is from Monica. How do you find a pattern in the business process to apply AI and create tests for that? Does that make sense to
Actually,
you?
that's a very good question. It's a bit of a different topic than what we saw in the session, which we were taking some of the AI capabilities exist out there and focused on computer vision and machine learning to remove the main upscale about object identification. But definitely, that is super important question in regards to how we can optimize the number of tests that we will be executed, and this based on the patterns, and patterns can be how users are using my app. Patterns can be according to the risk that we have, and usually the way we look at it is kind of right size my testing, right? We can do the right size my testing based on the environments that are being used by the users, or we can do that by the behavior. So this is definitely an area which we are looking at, and how we can also contribute with AI capabilities. It's more of the analytics side of the AI, which is something that, as I told you before, we are looking at it, and how we can apply the kind of production data or usage data, understand the patterns out of it, what users are doing, and making sure that those will be focused on testing. So as I told you, very good question. It's less of this specific topic as of today for the AI capabilities, but it's super important also area which we are going to look at once we will accomplish this topic around computer vision and machine learning to solve the number one problem of the object identification, and allow our users to be much more efficient with automation.
Can I ask you a question on the back of that, though? Do you think AI, sorry, when Monica asked about finding a pattern in the business process, but do you think every business process could benefit from AI? Is that a reasonable goal? Is there any reason to think that?
I think it relates to maybe I'll expand a bit your question in regards to autonomous testing. Okay, so I get these questions a lot about, do you believe that one day we will not need the QA engineers anymore and the entire QA activity will be autonomous? Then my answer is definitely no. Okay, think about like the autonomous driving, right? Even with the most advanced AI capabilities that exist out there, you still need the driver to be sit in the driver's seat, and making sure that when mistakes of the AI engine will occur, then the driver will be able to do corrective actions for those. So what I'm saying is that the AI will be a great assistant to the testers. It will remove many of the, let's say, many of the cumbersome work of the tester, but it will not replace the testers. And if I'll give you maybe one angle of that, think about it like AI, even in production data, can look at how users are using the system, and usually it will be, the positive cases. When you have the negative cases and boundary cases, which those needs to be extremely be tested, making sure that in real time the system will not break. I believe that the AI will be able to get there, but not in the level we expect it to be, at least not in the foreseen future.
Okay. Next one. I think this is 3 questions in one. So let me just do the first of 3
Sure.
From Max. Does the AI create a model that I can see as a tester? So I think it captures a script, but is there behind the scenes a model that could be seen or
the way it works, with the traditional way of doing automation, you get the object repository as the model, right? You get all the objects and then you manipulate those in order to create the tests. With AI, it's a bit of a different game here. So what we are saying is that we are doing the same actions like a human does. Okay, we take a snapshot of the application under test, we send it to the AI model behind the scenes. And the AI model brings the results back with all the identified elements and what can be done with those using the machine learning. So the model itself cannot be changed and cannot be customized on the fly, and it's mainly because the fact that it requires heavy computing capabilities. You know, we have equipped ourselves with very advanced GPU engines that are doing the training on a daily basis. And once the training is done, we wrap it into the AI engine, into the AI model that exists in the UFT solution. What we did introduced like in the last few weeks is the custom model or the federated model, because it might be that there is a specific industry where, for example, there is a unique icon or unique element that you don't want this to be available in the generic model. So what we will offer to our customers is to create a federated model. Currently, the creation of this model is still require our computing capabilities, and the customer needs to get to us through the feedback service that exists within the tool. They will get back a model that will work for them, and that can be plug and play into the solution, and then they can work with it. But in order to see the model, to see all the different weights, all the different elements, all the different classes, this is not something that the end user is available to tune and customize. But definitely users can see in the online documentation what are already the supported classes, what can be done with it.
Okay, but that's interesting though. I mean, could the tool use that model to generate combinations and permutations at some point, say to generate more tests?
Definitely. So
Okay.
I think that circle back to the first question. So once we understand the behavior, then we will be able also to generate tests on the fly. You know, it's like if we are now in the space with AI and computer vision, one of the areas that is very similar to testing. Think about AI engines that capable of winning a chess guy, right, in a chess machine. Think about the AlphaGo case. Think about the Mario Bros kind of AI engine that you can download easily to your machine, and you will win any Mario game. So this is a bit of a different space in the AI. But if you will think about it, you know, doing testing, it's like doing gaming, so to say. You need to explore. You need to see which of the areas you can get into, and what will be the system behavior based on that.
Okay, thank you, Eran. Next one is anonymous. How ready does my app need to be for me to use AI? Does it matter whether well, sorry, I'll shut up.
Yeah, you know, it's a super interesting question, because that really falls into something that after we introduced the first release of our AI capabilities, we had a discussion with one of our customers, and he told us, you know, guys, if you do not count anymore whatsoever on the object repositories, that means that I can send you even my app on a wireframing or using a mockup, and you should be able to analyze, and you should be able to identify all the different objects. And we said, you know, basically you are right. If it's a high fidelity mockup, then we can identify it, and you can start creating the test. And once you're gonna get the application from the developer, then you will have the test already in place that you can use and execute. And that is the answer for this question. So your app does not need to be ready at all. As long as you have a high fidelity mockup ready, take it, create a test inside the testing tool, and once you get the code from the developers, just run the test, do the simple, customization, because there is a bit of small difference between the mockups and the final application, but you will be able definitely to shortcut much of the time required to do this testing after you get the build from development. And remember, our goal in the Agile, in the DevOps, is to do the shift left. And up until today, the shift left was kind of reserved to the more of a technical users because they need to be involved with code. What we are saying is that there is no need for that anymore. This is one thing. And the second thing, it's not just shift left, it's the extreme shift left. And why is that? Because we don't even need the code in order to create the tests.
Okay, this is more, thank you. This is a more technical question, I guess.
Sure.
It's anonymous, it's from Paul Grossman. I don't know if you know Paul. The Dark Arts Wizard, he calls himself. How do you handle
Paul very well. Hi, Paul.
How do you handle elements? How do you handle elements that exist but are off screen and needed to be scrolled into view?
So this is actually, I'll split the question into two. First of all, one of the things that we have also realized, and remember during the session, I've keep repeating about the fact that as long as human being will be able to execute a test, our AI engine should be able to do the same. And if as a user, if a human being, you will not see the element, then you cannot click on it. But one of the things that we're missing in our solution is the ability to do the scrolling, because as a human being, if you do not identify the element, probably the first reaction will be to move your hand into the mouse and try to scroll down if there is a scroll option. And this is exactly what we have been added into our latest solution. So in case we do not find the element, we do the auto scrolling, we look for the element again. In case we found it, we easily can replay the script. So this is one side of the answer. The second side to the answer is that the AI for now is focused on what you see on the screen. And if you will think about it for a second, when users, whether those are consumer or the business users, use the applications, they will interact with what they see. They will never interact with what they do not see, right? So one of our customers told me, and I really like the way he described it. He told me, you know what? In the last few years, we have invested tons of time in automation to kind of be smart in terms of how we can remove or reduce the fragile automation identification. But with the AI, with the fact that now we're supposed to think exactly like human beings and how the users will use my app, then I do not need to be a magician anymore. I can do the tests as users are going to use it. And then you reduce many of the time you spend on trying to do all of those, manipulations and maneuvers in order to make the test less fragile.
Okay. I don't know if it's an easy one or a difficult one. This one. This is anonymous. What technologies does AI support? What would you make of that?
So this is a tricky question because if you remember what I told you, this we do not rely on the object repository. An object repository usually hide behind it the different technology, whether if it's a desktop, whether if it's a web, whether if it's a mobile. There are different SDK to interact with the different applications. So there is basically in the AI, the ground rules should be there is no technology limitation. Having said that, one of the things that AI brings into the picture is the different screen sizes that we have. So think about mobile device, it's like a small screen size. There is a very small real estate. Think about desktop browsers and the desktop native applications. Desktop browser usually will be opened in the entire screen, and native desktop have a variety of different resolutions. So it's a matter of more of a screen size. Currently, we declare support for mobile and desktop browsers, although remember, there is no relation to technology whatsoever. And in the future, we definitely tend to increase the support to the desktop native applications, as this is, I would say, one of the top priorities for our customers.
Okay, thank you. Next one, another anonymous, I'm afraid. Is there a risk of AI succeeding to run a test when it should have failed? Is it possible that AI is too forgiving? Can we make AI more aggressive as a test?
It's exactly like, for example, with the example I showed in the session. So you have a flip between the menu and the cart, right? And in the traditional automation, it might fail, and the AI automation, it won't fail. But there might be users that will tell me, hey, you know what? The test has failed because there is a UX change and we need to submit a defect. So what I'm saying is that we need to distinguish between functional requirements and between UX requirements. As long as we can run it in a functional way and you can overcome these changes in the fragile identification, that is perfectly fine. And we need to give like kind of a warning if there are UX changes, and we want to make sure that those will be indicated to the user. And again, the ground rule, which I'd like you all to come up with this session, is that as long as human being will be able to execute a test, our AI will be able to do the same. What we are working on as if human being will indicate, hey, there might be an issue here, then our AI should be able to do the same. And there are already some cases which our AI is doing it.
Okay, thank you very much. Next one from Raymond. What would it take to put visual object classification tuning into the user's hands?
Oh,
Does that make sense?
basically, that's one of the questions we get many times from our customers, because they want to get control on creating the AI model. And one of the things that we keep saying, and we are deep into the AI project for more than 2.5 years now, and our AI engine is the best of breed that you can find there for the enterprise space. The only, I would say, not barrier, but the only thing we need to remember is that training an AI engine requires GPU power. We cannot enforce our customers to buy GPU machine in order to do the training by themselves. Currently, what we do aim to solve is by introducing kind of a cloud service, so our customers can send into the cloud service the different elements that they have. On top of having the elements, we need to do the augmentation services, because if you will train one screenshot, that won't work, because AI has a big appetite for data. And we have developed a very advanced augmentation capabilities. So out of one element, we can create between 1,000 to 10,000 different elements. And once we have this, we are applying this into the training process. So the training process itself is yet very complex process that require heavy lifting of computing power. But once we will have the cloud service, and we'll introduce it as a centralized service that can be applied, for example, if there is one GPU machine within the organization, we will definitely want our customers to be able to do the training by themselves, because I do believe that the training eventually will lead them to the position where the entire tests will be done using the AI way.
I see. Okay. Next one is from Chris. Do you see a transition with AI of the skill sets needed to build and perform test automation?
I think the transition is definitely going more to the way that we probably will need less technical knowledge when we want to get to the advanced automation capabilities. Okay, so what I've been and I've been dealing with automation for 15 years, and every customers that I was talking to, I told them, scriptless and codeless, that's a very nice story. You can get into the basic sanity, basic regression capabilities with codeless, but if you want to get to the advanced cases, probably coding is a must, whether if it's a coding in that an open source solution, a commercial solution, or whatever. I think that the AI brings us into the era where the capabilities that the AI will introduce will help us to do more of just sanity and basic regression, but even more advanced cases without the coding capabilities. So I think this is the great news that the AI will bring. With the codeless solution that we're working on together with the NLP, this is definitely will help us to accelerate this one as well.
Okay, Eran, can we pause there, because we'll move into the panel session now. Thanks ever so much for that.